Why the change now?
Because Marcus needed some time to get the offense down. There's a lot of moving parts to the offense, a lot of things that we do, and the people don't see it's not just about throwing the football. There's a lot of things you have to control with motions and certain RPOs, run pass option stuff, when to throw it, when to check, all that stuff, So he's done a really good job um, in studying. He's got a live arm, and he can make some plays, and just felt like with his progress that he put himself in a position to get an opportunity to see what he could do, and he did a good job.
He talked about you telling him he doesn't have to be Superman out there in the first half. I had him 7 for 7 on checkdowns, 6 for 6 on screens. That throwaway on third down out of the end zone when no one was open. Is that talk about how he handled those situations and went through his progressions and just took what was there instead of trying to force stuff into one-on-one.
Yeah, I think it was important to let him know that, because a lot of hype surrounding him, being a local kid and all that kind of stuff, and seems like always the question, what's happening at quarterback, and so it'd be easy for a guy to think I have to really shine here, to live up to everyone's expectation when he really just has to do his job. He's one guy on the field, and he just has to play within himself, not force the football, not, like I said, like I told him earlier today, you don't have to be Superman. Just go through your progressions and make your reads, and, he was accurate throwing the football. And I think he got crossed up a little bit on the interception. He thought Keyshawn was going to keep coming on the curl, and Keyshawn broke away, But when Marcus throws it, he's going to throw it with authority, and he's going to throw it on time. And so sometimes that happens. But, yeah, if he just plays within the offense and does, his job, then he'll be okay.
Coach, had you been hearing any of the outside noise of trying to pushing for Marcus going in and stuff? And how do you what do you think of that? How do you just try to block that out, or how does that?
No,
work?
I don't pay attention to that. I mean, I'm aware of it, but that has nothing to do with our decision. Is what the outside is all about. We have decisions to make in here. We're the ones in this building that know what the progress is and how people are doing. So it had nothing to do with outside. Anything with outside, it was all about what we do in here day to day, and felt like over time when he got here he was way behind. Obviously, didn't have spring football, didn't have summer, only had a little bit of camp, and so but he's been working really hard to do it. So once we felt like he had it under control. And he wasn't perfect tonight by any means. There's some things we're going to watch tomorrow and he's going to learn from. But with his experience, that's, one thing I said last week is one thing about him, he doesn't have to get used to the speed of the game. Because when you're playing quarterback, the speed of the game moves pretty quickly. But he's played in the big arena before. He's played at a high level, so he didn't have to make that adjustment. Because, if let's say you're a high school kid or you're a junior college kid or something, you're coming in for the first time, the speed of the game makes a big difference. And you have to get used to that. But that's not something that he had to adjust to. He's fine with that.
Is that his biggest asset, or is there any particular skill or something that you really are impressed with what he brings to the table?
Well, he's smart. He's intelligent. He's a good leader. He plays with confidence. He can run. He has an escape dimension. He's very accurate. His ball finishes. So all around, like I said, he did a decent job tonight, but we have to get a lot better in all areas. And I'm sure he will, the more confidence he gets and the more practice reps. This is the first time, and felt like the bye week came at a good time where he could get some reps. He got more reps because typically, if it's probably 70-30 as far as reps for the first team guy or the backup guy. And so the more he gets those starting reps, I think he'll even be more comfortable.
Coach, Jaron Bryant's 2 interceptions today. What did you see out of him today, and overall in particular, that got him that starting job?
Well, yeah, he did a nice job. Well, they threw the ball right to him on the one, so didn't have to do much there. But I thought he did a great job on the second one of breaking on the ball and going to the high point and getting it and keeping his feet in bounds. It's very competitive every day on our field. We have some depth at corner, and so we can, rotate those guys in and out. And tonight was his turn, and he did a good job.
On this side with Mark.
What does this performance, do you think, do for your team's confidence? Now they don't have to hear that, they haven't beaten an FBS team in whatever it is, 600 and whatever days.
Well, they don't hear that in here. Maybe they hear that from the outside, but we don't ever talk about that. This is this year's team. It has nothing to do with the past or anything like that. This is this year's team. They've put in the work and the effort to get where they are. It's one win, and we need to get a lot better. In the second half, we got to keep them out of the end zone in the first half. Can't turn the football over too many times a night. Can't do that. I think we're 111 on third down. Got in the red zone and didn't put it in. So we got a long way to go.
Right.
We really do.
In some ways, are you happy for, the offense not being so productive in the second half, the defense letting down a little bit in the last minute of the first half because you won comfortably, but then you still have these teaching points and talking points and improvement areas that you can harp on next week?
No, I'm not happy about it. I wish they would have done it. I wish we would have been able to perform in those situations. And, there's no such thing really as a perfect game. But no matter what we would have done, there's always learning points, no matter what. And, and we will continue to grind with that. It's great that the kids can feel good tonight, but tomorrow they'll come back to reality about, what we need to do better. And that's how we'll coach next week. We'll coach and we'll grind and, we'll keep holding them to a high standard and a high expectation on how they perform. And, so I thought they tackled pretty well tonight. And I think we had too many penalties tonight, holding penalties. Just didn't play well enough, all around to let off the gas by any means.
Are you happy?
I'm satisfied for tonight. But like I said, it's one game. It really is. It's just one game, and I'm happy for the kids. Let me put it that way. I'm really happy for the kids because they've worked really, really hard. You've seen us practice. We practice really hard every day, and we hold them to a high standard, and they've responded to that. And I think this just validates if they continue to do the things how we practice and the grind that we undertake each and every week, that it pays off. And I think more than anything, the validation of that is what makes me most happy.